Have you ever heard of a man who was so disfigured that people screamed when they saw him? A man whose body betrayed him in ways so unimaginable that doctors at the time didn't know whether he was human at all. His name was Joseph Merrick, but the world would cruelly remember him as the Elephant Man. This is the heartbreaking story of a man who suffered so much, yet carried himself with dignity, intelligence, and kindness until his final breath. Part 1. Early Life and Tragedy. Joseph Merrick was born in Leicester, England in 1862. His birth was ordinary, but by age 2, something began to change. His skin thickened. Lumps formed on his face. His right arm and hand grew large and misshapen. His lips ballooned. His speech became slurred. And as he grew older, the deformities became more severe. Joseph's mother believed her child's condition was punishment for something supernatural, like many did in Victorian England. She once claimed that while pregnant, she was startled by an elephant during a fair. And that's why Joseph came out the way he did. Of course, now we know that Merrick likely had a combination of neurofibromatosis and Proteus syndrome, rare genetic disorders that cause abnormal tissue growth. But in the 1800s, people didn't see disorders. They saw monsters. Part 2. Life of Rejection. Joseph's life was one of relentless rejection and humiliation. His mother died when he was just 11 years old. She was the only person who had ever shown him compassion. After her death, his father remarried, and his new stepmother didn't want a disfigured child in the house. He was beaten, neglected, and eventually kicked out to survive on the streets. He tried to earn a living by selling goods door to door, but people would slam their doors in his face or run away in fear. Eventually, desperate and starving, Joseph made a heartbreaking decision. He sold himself to a freak show. Yes, he became a public spectacle, put on display like a caged animal. Crowds would gather just to gape at the Elephant Man behind the curtain. But what choice did he have? Part 3. The world watches him suffer. For a time, Joseph earned a small living in traveling sideshows across Britain. Posters advertised him as half man, half elephant, or the most shocking specimen of mankind. Imagine that, being called a specimen, not a person. He was poked, prodded, laughed at, even spat on. But behind the twisted flesh was something no one expected. A gentle soul, deeply intelligent, articulate, and surprisingly witty. He loved poetry, reading, and had exquisite manners. His favorite book, the Bible. He wasn't a monster. He was a man, just in a body that wouldn't cooperate. Part 4. A Ray of Kindness, Dr. Frederick Trevis. In 1884, Joseph was brought to London and exhibited across from the London hospital. That's where he met a surgeon named Dr. Frederick Trevis. At first, even Trevis was curious in a medical sense. He examined Joseph, documented his condition, and presented him to other doctors. But unlike others, Trevis saw beyond the surface. He saw the human being trapped inside. When freak shows were banned in London, Merrick's manager abandoned him. Stranded in a foreign city with no money and no home, Joseph was rescued by police who contacted Dr. Trevis. That's when Trevis did something rare for the time. He took Joseph in. He arranged for Joseph to live in a small room inside the London hospital, where for the first time in his life, Merrick had privacy, warmth, and peace. For the first time, he was safe. Part 5, A Mind Like Any Other. Over the next few years, word of the Elephant Man spread through the upper class. But something surprising happened. Instead of mocking him, many aristocrats and artists came to know him and respected him. He formed a deep friendship with Trevis and even visited Queen Victoria's daughter, Princess Alexandra. She reportedly called him a gentleman. He built models of cathedrals from memory, wrote letters, read Shakespeare, and expressed his dream. I would like to live in a little cottage in the country with someone who could love me for who I am. Sadly, that dream never came true. Part 6, A Tragic Death. On April 11th, 1890, at just 27 years old, Joseph Merrick was found dead in his bed. His head, so large and heavy, had fallen backward while he slept. The weight snapped his neck. Doctors concluded he had likely tried to sleep like a normal person for once, lying flat instead of upright. But his body couldn't handle it. That small act of normalcy cost him his life. Closing, what we can learn. Joseph Merrick never hurt anyone. He never caused a war, never stole, never lied, never blamed. He simply existed in a body he didn't ask for and was punished by society for it. Yet he lived with more grace and humility than most of us ever will. In one of his last letters, he wrote, "The measure of a man is not how he looks, but how he loves, how he dreams, and how he endures." Joseph Merrick wasn't the Elephant Man. He was just a man. A kind, brilliant, tragic man whose story reminds us. True beauty isn't in the face. It's in the soul. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content.